Alright, welcome back. Track review. My name's Laser. And yeah, so I had to, if you notice from the end of the recording of the BCC, this is afterwards, right? If you notice from the end of the BCC recording, POV thing, I had to immediately keep doing race control stuff, so I couldn't really do track review. Um, but yeah, now I can. Um, yep, so first I want to say this race was fucking awesome. It was so like, nowhere else can you like really get this experience of like action 24/7 and like you can overtake so many people. At least from like a high level driver standpoint, like relatively high, I got like ninth, right? So like relatively high driver standpoint, like this was like a blast. Like you like because you're overtaking everyone everywhere, right? Um, I I don't know if it's the track specifically or if it's. I mean, the track definitely helps a lot. But like for instance, people die on turn one. Like newbies, they fucking torpedoed over here, right? Um, and like like the wide space gives a lot of like options. Like I had a lot of lines and stuff to play with, um, to possibly deal with these torpedo guys, right? That I wouldn't normally have like thinner tracks, right? So that's really good. And like all throughout the track, there were like spots where like I was like, oh, I can do this. This turn was like a little bit scary. This turn is very scary actually. Because like bumps of all kinds of stuff could happen here. I only got bumped like once here, I think. Um, I think it was pretty good. And I think the back markers didn't die too hard on it. I think. I mean, I think they died everywhere. Like the lower level ones died everywhere, of course. But like, yeah. Um, I'm alone on BCC, sir. Anyway, this is also interesting as always, right? You know, people go wide. You can bank. You can bet on them going wide. They go wide to get through. But there's also people that went wide earlier and like drive into the line, and like now they're right in front of you, like right here, right? So then you have to react like that. You have a few very close calls with that. The triple ice turn is actually really, really nice. I'm not sure, like, I don't want to say it synergizes well because I haven't thought that far, but like, I think it's notable how you have a very scary, uh, a lot of interactions section, and then a section that's like, you can take three different lines, and people can spread out a lot. I think this is like very, very good. Um, yeah. And then this section's okay. Like nothing huge here. There's a little bit lower speeds. Like this part's like a lot of packed ice. Like you aren't going super fast. And you of course are very scared of like getting bumped here. I think a lot of bumps actually happen in this section. This I didn't see too many people with block stop or anything. I did a couple times, but they weren't that great. Just like there's so many people on the apex at all times, right? Um, yeah, and then this part was cool. I found there were a lot of times where I was trying to outspeed someone, so I would like turn as late as possible, so I wouldn't get like particle lag back or anything. Um, and I think this is okay. I think it was also very interesting how you take this exit, because a lot of people went this way, a lot of people went had the inside, and a lot of people or some people stuck on like the back guys, which is objectively wrong. Well, like that's the wrong call on their end, but like whatever. But yeah, it was like interesting to be able to like toy with like where you go, on this turn specifically. And then this turn was also pretty cool because a lot of people would actually go through the pack ice, or even some would even go over here. And I think most of the time, like a lot of those times, I was able to like dive bomb here and do something on this turn, right? Which is this turn is like really cool for that. And then this turn's okay. It's a little bit scary this turn. This turn's definitely one of the scarier turns on the track. Just because like you aren't super high speed. And like it's wide of an apex. Maybe I don't know exactly why it was scary, but like it was scary for sure. Yeah, I think the track was really good. The pit is simple, which is really nice. It's a really simple pit. It's a good pit delta. I think it was about. I never calculated it, but I guess it was about 20 seconds. So yeah, that was cool. Like I think like if it's a 1 minute track and it's 40-second pit, that's kind of long, right? But I think 20 seconds for a 1 minute long track or however long, it's actually 70 seconds, right? 70, 71. So 20 seconds is actually pretty good, solid. In this case, for this race specifically, it gets you out of the pickle. Like if let's say you have like 10 people in front of you, you're like, fuck that, I'm gonna go pit, right? It gets you out of that situation, but not forever, because you're eventually gonna catch back up, right? Which is, I mean, I don't know, like that's. It comes down to what you want. Do you want the pit to be like 100% get out of jail free card, kind of thing? Like, because if you want it to be like that, you can do 40-second pit, right? And it's like, okay, cool, never have to deal with them again, or at least for the next like 10 laps or so, right? Or maybe like 5, maybe like 5, right? But like 5 laps is a lot there. But like yeah, Um, I think the pit exit was okay. I don't like it was scary enough, but not like unfairly scary. Like people exiting the pits and like where they would go and like possibly getting bumped. It wasn't that bad, right? Um, in the future, actually, you can maybe do blue ice here so you get more entry speed or more speed this way, so that you kind of like have matching speeds. So, like someone exiting the pit, at this point they're like 36, right? And then like if you're doing the turn normally, you know, let's say like hypothetically at this point on the track, let's just say if I was at 36 here, it'd be a lot more balanced. I was at like 41, right? Which I mean, obviously this isn't like exact science or whatever, but like the idea is like we want both numbers to be the same, so like they have the same speed. So it isn't like you're trying to drive past someone who's lower speed. So that'll just cause less collisions, I think. So that's something that we could do to make the track better for this specific event. I don't know if we're gonna use this track again for next year or not, but I mean I don't know. I think it's solid. I think the only reason why you want to use a new track is to change things up. It's not like this is a bad track. This is a phenomenal track for this kind of thing. It's just if you want to change things up, like it's really well decorated. It's I guess maybe if you really want to get picky about it, there's not enough like you don't interact with the environment enough. Or like there's no like you can't split the track up into sections based on decoration, right? Like some tracks you're able to do that. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like if you had like a yellow section, like a green section, or like like a desert section, like a forest section, and then like another section. Those are like more memorable, and you can define turns, or like people can remember turns based on the decoration, right? This track doesn't have that, which I mean, I get like it's okay, but like otherwise I think it's pretty good. I don't really have that many comments for the tuning itself. Like I think I don't remember how the tuning exactly was beforehand either. That's the thing. I think this actually might have all been packed ice. I don't know if there's blue ice on this side, but I think I like this right here. This was okay. I don't think that there was anything crazy going on here because of the tuning. Although I think this is just like maybe a slightly more advanced version of whatever I did for off season. Oh, I have this now. Yay. Yeah. This was a little bit interesting. I like this. I like this. Because like people don't normally go here. I went here a couple times just because like I got bumped. I had to like drive and get more speed. So I was like, this is showing the blue ice, right? I think it's interesting to have like such a thin part right here. That's like one of like the tests of like skill on the track. Like a real big test of skill is like can you like stay on this? I don't think I did that much, but yeah. I think it was a little bit interesting. And of course, like this, I don't know if this is exactly how it was in off season, but yeah, I think it was cool to have like either the direct line or like the preparation like outside line. Yeah, and then this was like it was okay. Like I don't think I'd never like utilized the tuning that much. I kind of just took the turn. I know sometimes I wanted to outspeed people, like I said earlier in this review. So like, I would like turn like really late. So I'd make sure okay, brake after the packed ice, the checkerboard stuff. I was like brake after that, but that's not like really me interacting with it. That's just me like using it as like a marker, right? Being like, okay, yeah, or like I guess rather acknowledging if I brake inside it, I'm gonna lose more speed, and that's I might get outsped and bumped. So it wasn't like I'm using the tuning as more of a I'm aware of it and playing around it. Which I mean I don't know how I feel about that. This is cool though. This is neat. I don't know if it was like this last time or not. I don't remember the old tuning, sadly. But yeah, I think this track is really fucking good. Like the fact that, like I said, it's so wide, so like people like torpedoing or whatever. You have a lot of options. Like just options everywhere. Like all over the place. And I think this is something that BCC does well, like really well, especially in this environment. Is like I think McCusen was talking about it a little bit too after like Vast BCC, but it was like you have so like you can just approach it and be like, okay, like you can make a game plan between every turn. It doesn't feel slow, right? Because there's people everywhere, so it doesn't feel like the race is slow. Like if you time trialing this, it might feel a little bit slow and droopy or whatever. Because like it's just turn, wait 5 seconds and turn, etc. Right? But like when you're driving it around people, like I've been saying like the past years, it's like it's a lot more energetic, and especially with 100 people on track, right? So that's cool. Fuck, what was I talking about? But yeah, like yeah. So like you can make game. So many times I made a game plan before the turn, and like I was able to execute it, and it worked well because I have options now. Like I was able to react to stuff. For instance, like someone like dies right here, right in front of me. I was like, oh, I could react and go wide and not like mow and lose everything because there's space. You know, I can go wide over here, right? That was really really good. Yeah. In no world should we like host a BCC event. Like unless BCC becomes like the norm or something. Like if you want to make the big events, they should never be on thin tracks. Like they should always be like within this width or more, right? Yeah. So that was really good. Yeah. If you want to appeal to more noob players, which is debate on its own, but if you want to, I think using best blue eyes would be beneficial. Or at least you could use blue eyes in the straights and have the packed ice be all like start from here and like cover the entire thing, right? And maybe have some like blue ice things like you can keep this or whatever, but like make this all packed ice or something so like the majority of the road is packed ice, so they have help slowing down and stuff. You also might actually no, something huge is adding walls, not directly, not like this, but like a couple blocks out, so that if they do like torpedo, they don't end up like over here, but they instead end up right here. I think that's actually a huge thing we could change about. Like that would make the track so much better for these newer players. Just like they take a turn and they lose 10 seconds because they die so hard, but instead they could be losing like 5, right? And that's something like every turn I think should have this. It's just like if they heavily die, then they don't like super heavily die. They like the torpedo, they don't get overtaken by everyone. They can get back in it, and like it's a tempo thing, kind of like it's like the whole time trial on this track. It's 10 seconds in straight, 10 seconds in straight. It's kind of like something here, right? It's like they spend some time in the straight, and then they fucking torpedo. And it's like, okay, now I have to turn around, and then I get to go again, and I get to go on a straight, and then oh fuck. And then they have to spend 10 seconds turning around and getting out, right? Instead, they can spend 5 seconds, like it's not that much better, but at least it's an improvement, right? And I think that's actually something really notable for future BCC tracks, if we do make any more. Or at least, like, for future BCCs, we should also, like, edit this track to, like, have those walls. At the very least, on, like, heavy braking zones. Like, here, we have them, like, right here, but we don't need them, like, right here because, people aren't going to, like, be torpedoing this way, right? They might torpedo towards crafties, but they aren't going to torpedo over here, right? So we have to have like a wall like this, right? Obviously, like a lot more clean and stuff, and not wholly, right? Oh look, such a functional wall. Oh man, it saved my life. But like yeah, so like you start, start the wall like even like here would be okay. Probably yeah. But yeah, like so around like the heavy braking zones, which is a lot of this track to be fair. Yeah. About the packed ice edges out or power snow edges, I don't know if like it was okay. Like of course like it makes the track feel a little bit wider, which is good because like I was talking about how wide track was good track for this. So that's cool. As for the functionality that it functions as harsher off-road, I think it's okay. Like of course this is more targeted towards like higher level players. Like if you're a low level player and you torpedo, you're gonna like lose a shit ton of time regardless, right? It doesn't matter if it's packed ice or powder snow versus not powder snow, right? You're gonna lose a shit ton of time regardless. Well, you actually might lose a little more time since it's powder snow. But yeah, like I said, if you introduce those walls around the heavy braking zones, that should be fine. It should be better. But yeah, like slightly tapping the edge, led to a lot more mistakes because you lose a lot more speed. Yeah. As for race starts, not gonna lie, this first straight is unbearable. You saw my race start, right? Like literally, it was just like, okay, I got bumped. Okay, and then I drive and I get bumped again because I'm getting outsped and bumped, right? I don't even know what was going on behind. I don't even know what it felt like to start like 80th place in that. But like, if there is something we could do about that next time, I don't know. Like, I don't have all the answers for this, but like, I think a better race start might be nice. Like, of course, race starts are always gonna be chaotic, right? Like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have chaotic race starts. I just felt like it was like it felt sad that from like the first straightaway I was already 20 seconds behind the Apis or whatever, right? It was like, or it's like there's nothing I could do. Like the track may be wide, but it's not wide enough, right? Um, I didn't feel like, yeah, I don't know. It felt wide, but it's like clearly it's not wide enough for race starts. So like you can maybe even do, like I get that we want to keep the track simple, like, but you know like what we did in off-season hell, where we had like the extra like the starting section, like WLCBA, right? Like if I go to WLCBA, this is what I did there, WLCBA. So this is like where you start time traveling, right? But like, you know, the grid isn't over here. The grid is in this section, and you go through this section once at the very start of the race, right? So go over here. It's this way, here. So the grid is over here, right? This is where you line up, and then you know you start the race and you're driving, you know, and like you have wide open space, a lot of different split routes, you know, because blind attack was a very heavy focus on split routes, right? And then like you know eventually admittedly this session was very long, right? This was like a minute longer than it had to be. This is like a minute 40 or something. I don't know the length, but like it is very long. Did not to be this long, which is my bad. But yeah, they eventually go back on the track. Something like that for BCC might be cool, just to fix that problem of the sad race starts, because like it's just it was like I guess it's wider because like instead of like you know however wide this track, let's say this track is 20 boats wide, and let's say like there's a you know I get bumped, you know, instead of like it's like there's like a 1 in 20 chance or like a 3 in 20 chance that someone goes near me, outspeeds me, goes past me, and like gets in my way and bumps me again, right? 3 in 20, right? Let's say the track is 3 times wider. Then I go from a 3 in 20 to 3 in 60, right? So there's just lower odds like that. You know, like percents, you know, like, yeah. I don't know how to explain this better, but yeah. I think that could be cool. Just like super fucking chunky. Start straight or whatever. Do a couple turns on those and then, you know, and then merge into the track. That could be cool. Obviously for this track, I don't know where you'd put that. Maybe like right here. You can actually like, you can do it over here, like super wide something, and then you know merge then like right here or something. Of course, like you know, a few problems with this. One, it's cool to have the grid on the start finish straight. Like it's cool to have the grid right here because like you know like oh my god, it's like going to the graveyard. Okay, well maybe comparing this to a graveyard isn't the best idea, but like when you go to the graveyard, you know like you see like thousands of fucking you know tombstones. It's like wow, that's crazy. Kind of similar effect here. You see so many grids. I don't even process this. I'm like now I'm looking at it like holy shit, this is so many grids. Right? So yeah, it's cool to have the grids on here, and it's also a lot simpler for these newer level drivers. Like especially like WCBA, I think a lot of people were confused, which I think they were confused because we didn't communicate it thoroughly or well, which is my bad again. But sorry about that. But I think yeah, like it's still a little more complicated, right? It's not just super simple drive in the circle. Here's a pit lane, by the way. Pit lane is also like a little bit complicated for new. Like if you've been driving a long time, it doesn't seem complicated, but I think it's like it's not complicated to the point of being bad. I think it's just I think it's a good complicated, right? It's like it adds a little bit more thinking and you know a little more strategy to the race. I don't know if a launcher, I think is what Jolly calls it, a launcher, like the WCBA launcher, is a good idea for those reasons. So, yeah, it's like the grid is cool, but the main reason is like yeah, it's a little more complicated. But we have to compare a little more complicated to like not molding race starts. I don't even know where I started. I think I started like pretty high. Like I was like 7th, and I dropped to like 25th. And I couldn't follow myself out because I just changed that months, right? And do we want to have that, right? Because you know it's chaotic and it's fun. You know, like you could just say that's racing, but like what if it didn't have to be that way, right? What if we could make it better and not have that problem or not have that happen? Would that be inherently better, or would that be like, meh? You know, I think I don't know. Like I don't want to debate that right now, but like I think it's something to think about. Yeah. This interjection. specifically this device right here didn't detect shit. Maybe this did something. Like, yeah, like people who torpedo, they get like a little bit of device, which is good. But yeah, it didn't really do that much. um, yeah. I think that's about it. Yeah, the race is really fun. Like I said, like it's an experience like no else. Like you can have leagues, like where like everyone, all skill levels enjoying it, because like FC1 and BWC right now are like kind of like have like their own like leagues, like FC1, FC2, League A, League B, Rookie League. You don't, in those leagues, you don't like really run into like low level backmarkers that much, which is something I kind of miss. I really like trying to battle backmarkers, and this race was just all about that, right? It was all about backmarkers. You weren't like, sure, you were racing, like, you were racing your competitors, I was racing Oink to a little bit, but, like, I was trying to fight, like, against him for, like, position, but, like, it all came down to how you dealt with backmarkers, and I think that's really cool. You don't really see that nowadays that much, so, I think it was really good. I forget where I was going with that, god damn it. But yeah, I think for this specific function, for a BCC event, this track is phenomenal. Like I said, like every turn felt like you could do something. It felt like I can make game plans before the turns. Felt like I had a lot of room to be able to not only like make my own game plan. Like it was like instead of hugging the apex, I could be like 3 blocks wide. Because I think there's a whatever chance of people like looking at the people ahead of me and like their skill levels, and if I know their names, they might mess up here. Like there's like a good chance you're gonna mess up here. So in that case, I should go wide, because if they bump, they're gonna bump, whichever way. They bump inwards. They either bump inwards, or they bump this way, right? So I have to be careful about people bumping outwards, right? Yeah, all these things going through your head and like on the straightaway. But like you have a lot of space and a lot of like time to react and like think about those. Not just that, you also have time to, like I said, to react. Let's say someone does bump wide, I can like be like, okay, I'm gonna like go W and like hold S or something, right? Or like etc. I can react and have space to like not get punished for not taking the best line to the turn, right? Like it's if the off road was like here instead, then like I react, but then like I still end up over here, right? But then like if it's this wide, then we're good. Oh boy, I did it bad. Cool. Yeah. So I think this track is really good for this. I don't know how good it is for. I mean, I've had my own track reviews for like BCC for like off-season kind of styles, like competitive races. But that's not what this is about. This is about this track for this event. So and again, I think it did phenomenally. Yeah. I said reviewing again. The main improvement I think you can make, or there's 2 improvements. One of them is really big though. One of them is really big. Adding the walls along the edges for hard braking zones, so that new players don't like die every turn and they don't like etc. And then also, if possible, if we're gonna make another track for the future BCCs or for the next one, it might be cool to think about decorating the track in sections and having like, I mean, you can see this and you're like, oh, it's the stadium section or whatever, right? Or like the stadium section of the boat park compared to like sure, but like it's not like, compare like this to this, it's good amount different, but it's not that different compared to like a Minecraft plains biome to a Minecraft like end biome, or Minecraft nether biome, or in Minecraft like desert biome or something, right? Like those are clearly different, right? If we really want to get into it, we can also like change like the ice tuning or the decorations of ice. Like we could spell out BCC here if we really wanted to, right? Like we could do stuff like that, or do cool like patterns, like carpet patterns or something, like and like we could do different styles for each of those sections, etc. Or we can adjust track width if we really want to, or the primary ice type, or how, if there's a ceiling, how high the ceiling is, etc. There's a lot of like, compared to this track, like looking at this track, there's a lot we can do to in that direction of like helping people memorize track more. I mean, hell, I've done this track like 3 times now, twice for BCC and 1 for off season. Like I know this track, right? I memorized each of the turns for a long time now, right? But some people haven't, right? And it might be easier on them. I'm not one of them. I don't know if this is true or not, but like I don't know if this is the most entirely memorable, like not memorable, but like memorizable track, like comparing one turn to another turn. So I think that could be something that we could spec into for next time. But I think that's about it. This is fucking sick. I love this. This is one of my favorite events ever. This is great. BCC 2023. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. That was great. Thank you if you showed up. By the way, thank you again if you showed up to the event. I didn't say this in my POV. I guess I'll say it now. Like this is awesome, dude. Like we got 100 people on track, and like yeah, this is we knocked it out of the park. This is so great. Thank you guys for coming out. See you hopefully in the next one. Spoiler alert, we're probably doing another one. I don't think there's a single staff member that was saying, oh yeah, we should not do this ever again. Everyone was kind of like, yeah, we should do this again next year. But yeah, so yep, join us for the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.